everyone, I'm Alex, Pro Artist for Charlotte Tilbury. Today I will be creating a long-lasting sweat-proof makeup look. So I've already prepped my skin with Charlotte's Magic Cream, Charlotte's Magic Serum and also the Hydrator Mist. So I never do a makeup look without using these products first. So every good makeup starts with an amazing base, which is what you will get from your skincare. I'm now going to move on to foundation, and I'll be using Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation in shade 4 Neutral. So I've loaded the brush up with the product. The brush I'm using here is Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Duo brush, and starting in the centre of the face, this is where you tend to need the most coverage, and then we'll buff that in, stipple motions out towards the outer corners of the face. So next step is your concealer. This is Beautiful Skin Concealer in shade 3, and I'm popping that right in the inner corner of the under eye, and then the same on this side. Now, to give more longevity to your concealer, you do want to let that sit, don't blend it out straight away. And then I'll pop some on the outer corner, and then same here. And then just pinpoint on your face where you think you might need a little extra coverage. So for me, it's definitely the sides of the nose and close to the mouth. Now I'll leave the under eye area just for now, and I'll start to blend out the concealer that's on my face. Again, using stipple motions and a nice flat brush. And then onto the outer corners of the eye. Really light, gentle taps. And then repeat on the other side. And now I'm gently buffing out the edges of the inner corners of the eye, because this is where I need the most coverage. And then as we get closer to the inner corners of the eye, I'm using the most soft, gentle touch. I'm really pushing that product into the skin. Okay, next up we have Hollywood Contour Wand, and this is the shade Fair. So these have a nice twist and lock technology at the top. Twist and then stamp onto the face. I like to keep the contour nice and high on the cheekbones, and this will give a nice lifted effect. Particularly good if you've got more of a rounder face or rounder features. I'm stippling that in upwards and outwards motions, up into the hairline and right into the temples. And then taking the product, I'm going to pop a tiny bit at the top of the forehead, right in the centre, and then moving along the hairline here. Same on the other side. And then taking your brush from before, you're going to blend that right across the forehead and push it up into the hairline as well. So here you're creating that nice sun-kissed look, and you want to place the product where you would catch a tan naturally. And then lastly, I do like to do a tiny bit of nose contour, but this is completely optional. So for me, I pop a little tiny bit of product under the tip and then across the bridge of the nose and blend that out. Okay, so moving on now, to keep the makeup in place and get rid of any shininess or oiliness, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush Setting Powder, and this is in a shade 1. So I like to roll the product onto the brush, which is powder and sculpt brush, and then really push it into the skin. So I'll do one side and then you guys can see the difference. So using this powder will help your makeup to stay on for longer and make sure it's sweat proof and longer lasting. So moving on to blusher now, and this is Cheek to Chic in First Love. Using a nice fluffy brush and then taking the product nice and high onto the cheekbones. Again, if you've got more of a rounder features or rounder face, this will really help to lift and give more structure. I'm now using Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in the shade Love Trap, and then taking the pencil right across the Cupid's bow. This will give more of a full looking pout. And then once I get to the inner corners of the mouth, I'm keeping that really close to the natural lip line so that it doesn't look too overdrawn and too false. These pencils are absolutely amazing for longevity because they are waterproof. So this will help keep your lipstick on all day. So with the pencil, I'm literally colouring in the whole of the lips to really make sure this stays on for most of the day. I'm now applying lipstick over the top of the lip cheat, and this is shade Runway Royalty. So I've done complexion, blush and lips, and I'm now moving on to mascara. I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Exaggerize. Just finishing up now on the other side, making sure you pull those lashes upwards and outwards on the outer corners. Okay, and the last product that I'm using today is Airbrush Setting Spray, and this product is waterproof, so that's really going to keep your makeup on all day. So this is the final look using all of my favourite Charlotte Tilbury products for long lasting makeup.